And we are off. So, what we are going to see for those who are not initiated into the wonderful world of Final Fantasy VI speedrunning, or into Final Fantasy VI much at all, is our mystery girl here, along with her two bodyguards, or handlers as it is we're going to be trying to get our little mystery warrior girl here as much of that beautiful, tasty green experience as we can. But the problem is here is Vix and Wedge are just dirty experience thieves. So we are going to be using a little trick to uh, get them to run away right before all that beautiful experience is handed out. The problem here is, as you're seeing on SergeBenamou's streams, and I hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly, and I apologize if I'm not. Is these Lobos have what's known as the can't run tag. And in this pincer attack, you got to have a side to escape from. So they're going to kill off the Lobo and one of the guards and just run out the other side, leaving our mystery woman here to gather all of that beautiful, beautiful experience. And as you're seeing here again, these Vomammoths have that same can't run tag. So they're going to use Wedge and Vix to kill off the Vomammoths, wait till their action bars refill, and use the same trick to with the Bioblast. Remember, green gas is deadly, kids. To kill off those guards and have Vix and Wedge run away before, again, all that lovely experience is handed out. So it kind of just looking at their timers here, looks like everyone here is going to be right around the 1.5 hour mark. Looking like reBarbaloot, looking like his time is going to be right in the 132, 133 neighborhood. LilSharkie looking like his PB is sitting at a 128, 129 neighborhood. Fizz looking like he's sitting in the neighborhood of a 135, whereas Benamou is sitting again right in the neighborhood of a 135. And looking like everyone is popping right into their Welk fight. So the strategy here is going to involve, what they're going for is going to be a quick kill, which is a fairly technical and a little bit of a luck-based and what it involves is something known as weight tricking. Which is you're going to see them firing tech missiles at the slug portion of the Welk. Looks like Fizz missed it here and fired his tech missile at the shell, which caused Vix and Wedge to get shocked to death. That's shocking, isn't it? I know, the memes and the puns are bad with me.
At least that's not too bad, since his Terra is still alive.
Yep, that's the crucial portion. But the whole point of the quick kill is to kill the Welk before he grews, and the slug hides in the shell. But it's a fairly scripted fight, and what you're going to be wanting to do is fire 3 tech missiles at the slug, and with just a little bit of some precise inputs, some weight tricking, and just a little bit of luck, You should be able to get that taken care of here. I did not happen to catch if LilSharkie did, but based on where he is, I think he might have gotten it. Chat, did he? Chat, did anyone see if LilSharkie got the quick kill? Mondo, I believe the world record for this particular category is a 124.04. I'm not 100% sure on that.
There's a 123 posted for this, but it's on the SNES Classic.
Yeah, I don't count that.
So, and the best time right now is the world record right now actually hasn't been posted on SRL yet.
Yeah, that was done by LCC, and that was in this tournament, I believe.
Yeah, it's a 124.06 is the current world record. Sorry guys, I'm still trying to set up my stuff.
That's okay, I'll cover for you. So as we see here on most of the players, reBarbaloot just a little bit behind Wedge and Vix being teleported into let's just call it somewhere else because they're not on the screen anymore. They don't matter. But we are meeting our mystery woman, and her name is actually Tara, but. We shorten all of our characters' names with the exception of one because he doesn't talk so much. But we shorten them down to just one character because this game features scrolling text instead of just it all popping up at once. So with each letter costing us 2 frames, and each frame is worth roughly 0.02 seconds, roughly. Just in names alone, with all the dialogue for all the cutscenes and everything, it ends up saving us quite a little bit of time over this hour and a half to 2 hour run, depending on skill. As I said earlier, each of these players' PBs landing roughly in the hour and a half, hour 35 range. So that'll save us a good minute or two, maybe 5 or so over the course of this run, just by spending just a few seconds renaming all of the characters down to just a single letter. And we see most of the runners here now in what we affectionately refer to as the salt mines, intentionally grinding up T to level 6. I believe most of them are going to be on a step route here. So most of these encounters are you're going to know what you're fighting, when you're fighting, and where you're fighting it. And just the easiest way to kill all these things is to just burn it all with fire. Yeah, fire, yeah, fire! And we see LilSharkie now. He's made it to level 6, and he's fallen down to hole. Tedder go down to hole. Benamou has also made Terra fall down the hole as well, and TheFiz not far behind. And now we're into the flashback cutscene where we see this unknown psycho clown mage place the slave crown on Terra's head, making her into just a mindless drone slave. And then, making all of these wonderful, useless little Magitech soldiers roasted, toasted, burnt to a crisp, extra crispy. Hail Emperor Gestahl. Because I've been told I'm not the only one, but for the longest time, I always thought Gestahl was a dog, just by his character model, just by his sprite. I thought he was a dog. But anyway, after that flashback cutscene, we meet our next character. He likes to call himself a treasure hunter, but because he searches for treasures in other people's pockets, he's a thief. Anyway, Locke here is going to go and save the day for Terra and try and convince her to join the returners against the evil Empire. Bum, 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 bum. Yes, I'm just happy and full of obscure and not so obscure references today.
Alright, so now that we're down to this thing, we're gonna get a little mini game here. And the mini game is going to be basically, we get 3 different parties, 2 of Moogles and 1 with Locke in it and some Moogles. And we're just gonna move with one of the Moogle parties that has Mog in it. Mog we can take the equipment from because he's actually a character we get later on. So they're nice enough to let us steal the equipment from him right here.
Rob the Moogle, save the girl. But of course, the strategy here is going to be to bypass as many, preferably all, of these walking encounters as you see as possible. And to do so, there's actually a little trick where you can just walk right through their hitbox, just like you see LilSharkie doing, and you can do so by walking past them while they're in their walk animation. And so it just doesn't activate their hitbox. And in this fight, all you're going to want to do is attack the Marshal with Mog, kill the Lobos with the middle 2 Moogles, Cuckoo and Kutan, and then and it looks like Benamou got Mog netted. That's never good. It's going to make it very hard to rob the Moogle.
Yeah, with having Mog netted, we're going to have to wait until he becomes available to use again as a character in order to steal his equipment. It doesn't look like he's going to wait, though. It looks like he's just going to kill Marshall with the other Moogles and maybe buy an extra Mithril Pike later on.
No, looks like he is waiting.
He's waiting here.
Yeah, he just had those attacks queued up. Yep, and Moogle robbed. Meanwhile, LilSharkie has saved the girl and robbed the Moogle. Which one is more important, robbing the Moogle or saving the girl?
I'd say robbing the Moogle because we put the pike on Edgar.
Yeah,
we don't really use Terra that much.
Yeah, Terra is just kind of gets dragged along for the ride. Yeah, I would agree. Rob the Moogle. For as much as they think Terra is the key to winning this war, she doesn't do a whole lot. LilSharkie has escaped out the backside of Narshe and is now running away towards Castle Figaro.
I didn't catch much off the start here. Are any of these runners here step routing?
I believe all of them are. I could be wrong on reBarbaloot, but I don't think so. I believe all of them are on step route.
Yeah, I missed about the first 2 minutes of this, so...
Yep, and we do see LilSharkie here entering into Storytime Castle, where we're going to spend, probably a good 5 minutes here of walk, cutscene, walk, cutscene, walk, and some more cutscene walk a little bit more, and hey, just for a little change of pace, some more cutscene.
Yeah, but all that we do here is all quite important to the information of what's going on. So we get King Edgar here, which we name E because E, it's easier to pronounce.
Well, I don't know. Well, yeah, it would be easier to pronounce, but it's also much shorter. It's hard to argue with the easier to pronounce part of it.
We need everybody simplified. That's why they're one letters here. E-L-T. Perfect. Can't forget anybody that way.
I still think we should rename Edgar to B, because BLT, bacon.
I still think he's Batman.
He is rich. He is a master. Edgar is Batman.
His parents are dead too. Just remember that.
Yeah, but they weren't murdered, and he has a brother that he knows about. But he doesn't have a dog. Maybe Shadow is Batman? Shadow is Batman.
No, Shadow's a little bit off from the whole Batman backstory. And there's no proof that Edgar... I don't think it's ever been stated from what I've gotten through, if their parents died to natural causes or if they were murdered in some sort of way.
Well, you can see it here in this cutscene that at least their dad died of, natural causes because he got old and sick.
Well, people do get poisoned in this game, so
Well, that's Kefka's purple drank Kool-Aid.
Who's to say that their father wasn't the test run of it?
Crap. I can't disprove that.
Alright, so we met our awesome character who has a fun command called Blitz named Sabin. We'd name him S. He's a pretty fun character.
Everyone pronounce all the other characters' names differently than I do. It makes me feel weird.
I think Sabin is one that kind of has... It's more one of those ones that I feel is open to interpretation for how it's spelt.
Yeah, I've always pronounced it Sabin.
Wow. The Chancellor decided he didn't want Tara to go back and talk to Edgar.
Oh, NPC block. No good, no good. Party foul. Anyway, here is our first run-in with Kefka.
Is this technically the second one because of the flashback cutscenes?
Well, live run-in with Kefka.
So there's one little neat trick that you can do that, from what I understand, is a frame-perfect trick, and you can get the guards here to be staring at each other and have a staring contest while you're talking to Kefka. But yeah, looking at these racers' PBs, both races have actually pretty close PBs to each other.
Yeah, so all of it should be a good. So all in all, it should be a very good. Should be a good close race.
Yeah, we got reBarbaloot, who has a 132.53 as his PB currently, and who's that he's against? LilSharkie? Yeah, LilSharkie, who has a 128.29. Now we got Fizz, who has a 134.47. And Serge, who has a 134.49. So they only have 2 seconds between their PBs.
Yep, and here we see over on TheFiz that somehow Kefka has placed a stone castle on fire. How he does that, I don't know. I call magical shenanigans.
You mean you don't set rocks on fire every day?
Not without an accelerant of some kind.
Well, it is Kefka. He is a pretty powerful mage.
Psycho Clown Mage, maybe.
Still a mage. Doesn't matter if he's a psycho clown.
Like I said, magical shenanigans. Okay, so here up on LilSharkie's stream, we do see what's basically the second easiest boss fight of this entire run. All you're gonna see is Edgar auto crossbow them twice, and he does go and use Lock that has been renamed to A. So all he does is eat, which I'm perfectly okay with because dinner. Food, hooray.
I don't remember. I know there was one runner in this tournament who actually names their characters Eat and has a C overlay for the first N in Bannon's name. So that when they're going down the river, it says Eat Bacon. It's pretty amazing.
That is... I don't know who that is, but they are now my hero. So one thing that you don't want to do during this fight, or any time through the cave to South Figaro, or to South Figaro, is cast any kind of magic with Terra. And that is because while it is amazingly awesome, it is a 40-second long cutscene in which Locke and Edgar, while they know Terra can use magic, they've never seen it before. And they kind of freak out and lose their minds over it. I want to say other things, but being this channel being what it is, I'm not exactly allowed to say that.
One of my favorite things about that cutscene is the very last line in it, where Terrace basically tells them to stop swooning over her.
Which, in and of itself, is just hilarious. But when you do play this game casually, because let's face it, we all know you're going to, because you should. This is like the best game ever made. I'm sorry, it is. I highly recommend that you do it because it's funny as... Well, it's just funny and hilarious, and you should do it.
Alright, so we'll walk through this cave here that leads to... I believe it's Figaro as well. It's not Figaro Castle. We're going to want to take all the encounters in this, unless we get 2 Hornets, which... If we're on the right step route, we'll never see them.
Yep, and in this cave, Edgar can one-shot basically everything with 1 round of the auto crossbow, although the Blearies have a chance, if the auto crossbow rolls really, really low, to not one-shot them, but then you just have Locke and Terra queue up little fights, little attacks, and it kills them.
So while we're in town, we're going to go in and buy some sprint shoes. There's a little thing you can do to save a little bit of time, which we saw TheFiz do there, is you can hold down A when you enter that building and then just let it go and instantly talk to the shopkeep there.
Oh, looks like Benamou getting a little bit of an NPC block there. But he's able to get through relatively quickly. Now here in South Figaro, I personally like to purchase a star pendant here to deal with the poison that's coming up here in Mount Colts. That's dealt out by some of the Trilliums towards the end, but a lot of people don't, and that's why these guys have, well, reBarbaloot and LilSharkie have better records than I do. Well, technically the other two have better records than I do too, but I've also completed my third race for the week, my round 3 match.
So while we're going at Mount Klotz here, or Colts, we want Locke to run away from one of these encounters of the 4 enemy packs. Oh, that's not good for LilSharkie there.
No, he's just gonna run from it completely.
Yeah, he's just gonna run from it. He's just gonna pick up all the encounters from this point on now and hope for a run in a point later on, and if not, he's gonna have to grind a few extra encounters.
Yeah, but the reason we want that is because the magical level setup here to have Sabin join in at level 11 is for Edgar to be level 10, Locke to be level 9, and Terra to be level 8. And Edgar's a little bit further ahead at this point. In fact, I believe he's already level 9. But he's also the fastest person to run away. So in order for one of the characters to run away, their ATB gauge has to be full, and there's also a hidden run gauge for them. And each character's run gauge is a little bit different, and Locke's is the fastest, tied with Shadow and one other person, I believe. I don't remember who it is off the top of my head. There was a little spreadsheet that was published a while ago, and I don't remember where it is. I don't have it. I don't even have the link to it anymore. But either way, you're gonna want. It's very easy to make Locke run away. Is the point here? And it looks like, oh, that's not good for LilSharkie that Terra's dead. With no Phoenix Downs. Looks like he is going to safety save and use one of them sleeping bags. Oh, no he isn't. That's surprising. I would have thought that he would have. I wonder if he forgot, or if he didn't realize he had them, or...
I'm pretty sure you have to be on a save point to use the sleeping bags, don't you? So
he was on the save point. Well, either way, sure that's gonna cost him some time on the Vargas fight. But anyway, here are those Trilliums that I was mentioning that I like to buy the Star Pendant for, because they have an attack called Bane Touch, and that will, if you don't kill them, they'll hit you with it, and that induces poison. So, especially for a LilSharkie with Terra down, that goes his only source of getting rid of the poison. Might save one antidote. Oh, and Edgar eats a Bane Touch. That's not good.
And he has no way to heal it either. He can't get rid of it. With Terran being down, he can't cast magic with her, and he doesn't have an antidote at this point.
Yeah, I don't know if he used the antidote that he got, or if he just skipped it.
I'm pretty sure the antidote we get is in the Returner's hideout. So you wouldn't hit the point with it unless you got a drop for one. So he's got to do this fight with a poisoned Edgar and dead Terra.
Looks like Couch is saying that only tents revive, not sleeping bags, so that's why he didn't use it. I thought sleeping bags did the revive too, and it's also going to throw off Sabin's level, so this is going to be double bad for LilSharkie. But he is into his Vargas fight.
Yeah, and this is why you want to make sure if Terra's HP goes low, you want to heal her up right away.
And this is going to give reBarbaloot plenty of time to catch up, because this Vargas fight is going to take longer than it normally does, unless we get a desperation attack out of lock. Nope, he got through to it. He hit the damage gate, and up pops Sabin.
Yeah, LilSharkie is going to have a very interesting run. He's going to be most likely short on Sabin's levels, and we're going to see how that's going to affect him in the scenario that he's about to go into here pretty quick. If he's at least level 10, he'll have Aura Bolt like he's gonna need anyways.
Yeah, and then he should still be able to hit level 11 by the time he needs it for the Rise of Pass skip. Looks like FF6 and Benamou are near identical, but LilSharkie's still pretty far ahead of reBarbaloot at this point. But he's going to be able to close in on that lead very quickly. And it looks like LilSharkie bypasses the safety save. Let's hope he doesn't get a return or soft lock. Nope, he gets that part safely.
Edgar is poisoned on LilSharkie's side here.
So here we see for LilSharkie that he's about to go talk to Bannon and deny him 3 times. And the reason behind this is that not only is it actually a time save for avoiding a fairly lengthy cutscene, but it also gets you past the broken in the bad way gauntlet, but it gets you the broken in the good way Genji glove, which allows you to double fist 2 weapons, 1 on each hand, which we're going to end up giving to Edgar so he can equip eventually a pike in each hand for the Kefka fight at the end of the run.
Alright, so we go into the treasure room here as well, and we pick up a few nice items. We pick up some Phoenix Downs in here. We pick up 2 of them in total for the run. And the True Knight is the other really important item we pick up, and an Air Lancet that we're going to be using in the Imperial Camp coming up here in about, I would say, 10 minutes.
More like 20, I think, with everything that's happening on the river. Looks like LilSharkie's just gonna take a nap here, cure the poison. Nap time. I could go for a nap.
Honestly, it's not a bad idea to cure the poison that way if you're really in a bind for it, so... Now we're going to equip the Genji Glove on to Edgar right away and give Savin some sprint shoes for his part that's coming up here. Alright, so since most of these runners are on step route, we're going to see them all be resetting their games here to manipulate the river. One thing to note is that we base this off of an NPC movement on the carpet. As we can see on reBarbaloot's side, when he walks onto the carpet, we're going to walk into the next room and get onto this beautiful raft. And if done properly, we will only get 2 encounters down this entire river. Alright, so do you want to talk about how this Ultras fight works? Since most of our owners are starting to get into it now.
Sure. So what's going to happen is the point is to kill all. It's fairly a technical fight. The point is to obviously try and kill it as quickly as possible, but it's very what's the word? Predictable, but it's very unforgiving.
Did I just see a wipe to Kefka there? Or to Ultros there?
I missed it. We'll see it coming up here on the restream. Oh yeah, it was a back-to-back tentacle. Yeah, that's no good. That's bad for the Fizz. So, we see up on LilSharkie that Sabin has met our good friend Shadow here. And Shadow is actually the only character on this run that doesn't get renamed. And The reason behind that is going to be because Shadow speaks so little that it's actually going to take more time for him to rename him rather than to just leave it and rename him. It'll cost you more time to rename him than the time you'll save by renaming him.
Yeah, he has so few text boxes in this entire run that renaming him, even though his name is 6 characters long, actually loses you time.
And LilSharkie has made his way to everyone's favorite summer camp cutscene. Buckle up, kiddies. We're in for some story time. Yeah, and with that death on Ultros, TheFiz is going to lose whatever time he was making up on Benamou. But up on the top level here, we see that both LilSharkie and reBarbaloot are going to be meeting our old warrior friend Cian here. And what you're seeing is Cian using his second sword tech, Retort, which is basically an automatic magical counterattack. So Cian was equipped with the sprint shoes to make him move faster for the upcoming cutscene with him, and then the battle speed was changed to 1, so that the leader would attack him faster rather than slower. And that will be changed back before Cian or before Sabin and Shadow finish killing off or before they finish chasing down Kefka here before he makes his famous Kool-Aid.
So I learned something kind of cool with the Cyan fight, and depending on your ATB, if you accidentally screw up your retort and use Dispatch on the first turn, if you had good ATB off the start of the fight, you can actually get off the Dispatch after the retort after the Dispatch. It's kind of a cool thing that I found out in my last race.
Really? I was not aware of that.
Yeah, it depends on your ATB and everything, but it is possible for it to go through the whole dispatch animation, fill up your bar again, and you can get your retort off before he actually attacks again. It's kind of cool to figure that out.
Wait, he says, do I look like a waiter? Anyway, So now you see that Sabin and Shadow are chasing Kefka all through the camp.
Yeah, we're gonna have to fight him twice here, and then after we fight him twice, we're gonna want to make sure that we change down our battle speed if we didn't do it beforehand. Some people like to change it as soon as they're done Cyan's part of this off the start, just to be sure that they change the battle speed down.
And now we see Kefka making his world-famous purple drank Kool-Aid. Remember, everyone, it's really, really good. You should get some because it's to die for. Yeah, everyone at Castle Doma got theirs, and they realize it's so good, they'll never taste anything so good again, so they're just gonna all die. In fact, that one guy's gonna take a swim in it. And now Cyan's realizing how good it is, and he's kind of pissed that he doesn't get any, so he's gonna go chase some down. And thank you to Get Coop with that 10-month resub. Thank you very much for the support. Both Cian and reBarbaloot have rushed into the throne room to find the king is dead. Cian rushes off and finds his wife and child have also drank the Kool-Aid. Dun dun dun. And now Cian has rushed headfirst directly into the camp, and Sabin and Shadow have decided, you know what, we should probably help him. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let's do that. And so here in these first couple of battles, Cian is in your party, but he's uncontrollable. So all he's going to do is he's going to dispatch or fight, and really you want him to fight because dispatch has a longer animation, and Cian can just one-shot these grunts anyway. The one cool thing is that Cian has a built-in black belt feature, so if he gets hit, he will sometimes just counterattack and murder things for free. So that's a good thing.
So I just want to note that the top race, reBarbaloot versus LilSharkie, is actually very close. They're only one fight away from each other in this camp right now, so they're probably about 15 seconds apart from each other or so.
Yeah, reBarbaloot and LilSharkie are really very close to each other, whereas unfortunately because of that death to Ultros, there's a much larger gap between FF6 and Benamou. Probably closer to a minute or two.
So I think this is my favorite part of this whole camp is when we get the Magitech armor and Cyan just goes all crazy and he's just running all over the place. But here's where we have to ask the first real important question. Are we going to see rainbow beams?
Yes, this is the second of the trifecta validation, rainbow beams. Yes, and it does look like LilSharkie is going to rainbow beam validate his run.
So basically, this doesn't lose you any time, but you can use all three of the different types of beams in this fight just for the swag of it all.
It might cost you a second or two, but not really. Not enough to really matter at this point. And it does look like...
It actually doesn't cost you any time if you're doing it during the attack animations of the previous beam.
True. But it does look like reBarbaloot does rainbow beam validate his run as well, so... Now to see if Benamou is going to validate this scenario. No, he does not.
And where's with our time update of 8 seconds apart from each other leaving the camp?
LilSharkie make it into the Phantom Forest with their mandatory free heal. Woohoo! Free heals!
One of those nice is that if
party fire,
if anybody died during the camp, which Shadow can die easily in this camp depending on what happens, you'll always get a revive at that point before you go onto the train and too far into the forest, which is very nice for a little bit of extra safety, especially when on step route for the later half of the train being quite scary. If you're full health right now, it's a little bit safer.
Yeah, and at this point, Shadow isn't there for damage. Shadow is there to be a meat bag. Yeah, we're going to be running from literally every fight here on the train that you run into, up until the Phantom train itself. But yeah, you're just going to be running from absolutely everything. So yeah, just that little extra target, that extra sack of hit points to have there is going to be extra helpful. And here at the end of the second train, they're going to grind out steps until they get a second encounter, just to keep on the step route. Ooh, and a pincer attack for LilSharkie. One hidden little thing on this train is that the second ghost in the second car is actually a merchant. So you can buy extra supplies from him if needed. But here on the Phantom Train is where you really start to notice that Cian takes a long time to run. Just a long, long, long time. And this is where the Phantom Train gets scary. And part of keeping on the step route is, yes, you know you're going to get these bomb attacks, but part of the step route is you at least know that they're going to be single bombs and not 3-packs. And hopefully you're going to be able to run away from them before they're able to cast Blaze, especially single target Blaze, because single target Blaze will kill you. It's just gonna kill you. It will kill you dead. Kill you dead. Multi-target Blaze will still do just some serious damage, and it is not your friend.
All right, so one thing to note about this train, I'm not sure if it's been mentioned or not because I had to walk away for a second. Somebody came to my door. But once you leave the second train cart, where you take the extra steps to force the encounter, you cannot take an extra step anywhere at this point now. Because if you do, you're going to get Grasshoppers before you go up to fight Rizapos, and you're going to have that as an encounter on your belt.
Yeah, and the danger with Grasshoppers really isn't them in themselves, but they have an ability that will berserk you, and that can make it kind of hard to recruit Gao, because when Gao shows up, if you smack him, he gets a little pissy and runs away.
Yeah, well, the biggest thing is that if you stay on step route for the whole walk here, the first encounter where you can find Gowan is going to be a single ghost, not 3 Grasshoppers. And your second encounter, if you get those Grasshoppers, is going to be 3 ghosts. Whereas if you didn't get those Grasshoppers, you're going to run into a single bomb. So it's a matter of fighting off 3 enemies twice over 1 enemy twice for the chances of Gao.
And it looks like LilSharkie did validate his run, taking the train to Suplex City before hitting it with the Phoenix down, as does reBarbaloot, taking the train down to Suplex City. Now that they've gotten off the train here, we're going to go into the Cian mourning scene, where Cian is going to mourn the loss of watching his wife and son get on to the Phantom train, where they realize where he's kind of coming to grips with the fact that his wife and child are really dead. But we're gonna have about 45 seconds to do some inventory management and equip Sabin with the earrings that they picked up on the back of the dining car, and the True Knight that we picked up way back in the Returner's hideout. It looks like, though, that Benamou did not suplex the train. His run is now invalid. That the bottom race is now over. Not really, but we just like to say it is.
You like to say it is. I refuse. Don't let your runs be guided by memes, kids. Don't let it happen.
Alright, so we're coming up on one of my personal favorite boss fights of this run. Not sure if we can really call it a boss fight, but it's totally a boss fight.
It's supposed to be a boss fight, but we just kind of trivialize it into oblivion.
Yeah, so I'll explain what we're doing as soon as LilSharkie jumps down into the fight, which is right now. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take Sabin and Cyan, and we're going to attack Cyan for the most part. I see you decide to attack a Piranha first. Usually you want to leave both the Piranhas up for as long as possible to get the extra damage off, hopefully on Cyan. It doesn't look like you unequipped Cyan either. I'm not sure if Cyan was dead or not, but those damage numbers don't look like they're unequipped Cyan damage numbers.
Yeah, this is a slower fight for sure.
So basically, we're going to kill Cyan, we're going to use a Phoenix down on him, and then we're going to set up Retort and suplex the fish. And that causes Coding to get messed up, and Cyan to just go and counter that fish anyways and skip the boss. And it's always fun to do.
Yeah, I believe the way this works is that there's a magic attack and a physical attack hitting at the same time, and the game code doesn't really know what to do.
Alright, well, thanks for having me in your commentary booth, Rivers. Have fun commentating the rest of the match. I'm out, guys.
Yeah, Riku Player is going off to set up his own matches on twitch.tv/Riku Player. Meanwhile, I am Riku Player. How are you doing?
You are not Riku Player, you are Rivers.
I am totally a Riku Player. I don't know what you're talking about, man.
I call shenanigans.
So both reBarbaloot and LilSharkie have successfully gotten off the glitch. The change from Canadian to Texan is tough, but it can happen.
Usually it takes years, not seconds.
Alright, so Sharky got the step route pretty much on point at this point, looks like. He's maybe 25 seconds ahead of reBarbaloot.
Yep, and yet he's still on step rock because he got that pincer.
Serge going for his little suplex glitch here. I know it's actually called the retort glitch, but I want to give Suplex some love, so.
Well, Suplex got its love on the train.
Yeah, but that's a
But
meme, and we shouldn't encourage memes.
What are you? Blasphemy!
See, doesn't this commentary better now that me is back? And you saw Fizz save there, so I don't know if he had the correct encounters to begin with at this point after he had to reset at Ultros, but now he's even further off, I think.
Probably. The meme team is not dead. The memes are strong with the work.
Alright, now let's see if we can find us some G.
I hope not.
And by G I mean Gao, but we call him G, so... First try for Sharkie. How about that?
And he successfully feeds him the dried meat, rather than feeding it to himself. Eating in front of the poor starving kid. That's kind of what I would do.
That does sound like you, yeah.
Well, I do hate the dirty little...
So reBarb gets its second try. So even though they're at different points in the cutscene, eventually Sharkie will take an encounter, and yeah. They'll be close again. Serge experiencing now kind of the issues with not step routing, and that he's facing this Templar fight that he cannot run from. Has to kill everybody.
And finds Gao, but a little too early, and he gets the absolute joyous joy of smacking Gao.
It's something that everybody should do at least once.
Happy.
Yeah, for sure. Just find Gao, hit him. You'll feel better about yourself. You really will.
And you'll feel better about having to drag the dirty little kid along everywhere. If it hasn't become perfectly clear to everybody, I dislike Gao intensely.
I think most people who have run this category seriously would agree with that statement. Because he's cost at least one person, you know, at least in one of your races, he's probably cost you at least 15 to 20 seconds.
No, it's not just in this category. I just don't like his mechanics and the way he works.
Now Kappa is a meme I can keep alive.
Yes, everyone, we have Kappa. Spam him if you got him.
Alright, Serge getting an early go as well. And a back attack for Sharkie.
Oh, and it's a bomb that gets a blaze off. That's not good.
He may have to heal, or he probably should heal, I should say. Doesn't have to.
He's just gonna throw a tent up, and hopefully he'll be smart and safety save before hopping into that serpent trench.
Both of our runners. Look like it. Both of them saving. So we got, what, 4 seconds between them heading in here? This was really close. Same cutscene.
Yeah, they're in the same cutscene. They're almost identical. They're really close. It's going to come down to NPC blocks in Nakia and run timing in Serpent Trench.
So story-wise, Gao, of course, has a helmet, and all three of you, of your characters, will wear a helmet. One helmet. Because that's how this game works. Don't question it. Just dive into water at all times.
When in doubt, the answer is to jump into a river, a raging river. That is always the answer. And of course, Gao is afraid because he's still at least 3 months away from his next path.
Hey, Fizz found Gao early too. And a nice big claw for Gao. Love it.
Because he's earned it. But Gao definitely not living up to his namesake here. He's easier to find than well, what is easy to find? He's easier to find than Kevin. Well, I was gonna say he's easier to find than Kevin Nash at a short people convention.
Oh wow, dueling preemptives here. So reBarb had like a lead for a slight second there, and now Sharkie's right back in it. Love when the trench decides everything.
Yep, such is Serpent Trench.
Preemptives on the trench are really good too.
Say what?
Preemptives on the trench are really good too because it's a
Yes,
lot longer to run away.
Yeah, the real danger of Serpent Trench though is those single angle forms and Aqua Rake. Oh, LilSharkie getting lucky with it being a double angle form instead of a single.
Yeah, I believe that one can only be a double on the last encounter. Oh, and a back attack for reBarb here. Ouch.
That's no good. Thankfully, he avoids the mind spikes. If seeing would ever run. There he goes.
So Fizz got his Gao to join as well. Serge is just starting the river, so there's probably a good 4 or 5 minutes between them. You saw Sharkie buy some smoke bombs there. That's the entire reason we do this scenario first, or that it's routed that way, is to get these smoke bombs so that runaways are faster for the other scenarios.
Yeah, did LilSharkie buy a second Mithril Pike? I didn't see.
I don't believe so.
Oh, so he's going to be picking up a Rune Edge then.
Ooh, here's a pincer for Serge. Uh-oh.
That's no good.
That'll help Fizz out.
Yeah, well, that'll let him catch up a little bit.
So now we're going to do this little...
Wow,
look at that. First try for Sharkie. Little clip through this NPC guard. Because in this scenario, we just want Locke to get through as quickly as possible. And avoid any characters who may or may not exist that I don't know about.
Yeah, we don't know of any characters we haven't met yet.
Both of them getting it first try. Nice.
Yep. So here, what we're going to see is they're going to go and actually go out of their way, open up a treasure chest. And that's going to contain a Thunder Rod, which we're going to need here in just a few moments here to bypass what is actually the easiest boss of this entire run.
Fizz got an attack he couldn't run from again. That's unfortunate. Ooh, and sorry, Sharkie's lock is poisoned now. Interesting. Yeah, you skip picking up whatever character is here. Only in Kefka, Narshe, and I believe in Pure 80%. Or not Pure 80%, Sketch. You never get to her in Pure 80%, whoever she may be. Sharkie doing a lot of menus here. And reBarb actually getting to... Look at the sync. Look at the sync. This is great.
Yeah.
What a race.
So here we're going to see Locke talk to the voices in his head, something talking about a runic blade and magic, and now what we're going to do is we're just going to break a thunder rod over the tunnel armor, and it's just going to shock it to death. And oh look, easiest boss in the game, dead.
1448.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you didn't blink as you can hold your breath for the length of that scenario.
Alright, so the encounters on this river after the first one are random. So this could go a way toward deciding this race. Both of them getting the second encounter as well. Sharkie getting the preemptive, which really helps. And dodging the third encounter as well. Which reBarb got.
Yeah, reBarb got that third encounter. And he's starting to run low on smoke bombs.
So that's going to put him a good extra 15 seconds back now. I guess reBarb must have not bought enough sprint shoes at the beginning of the game or something.
Should have. I thought I saw him buy 3.
Ooh, and Fizz having to actually kill the Aspic because C got numb-bladed into place. That's always rough.
Weak.
Surge is almost a full scenario ahead now. Yeah, so rough.
Well, it is the lock scenario, so that I wouldn't call that a full scenario.
A quarter of a scenario ahead. It's okay. I can make mistakes just as sure as I know that I'm Riku player.
Looks like TheFiz buying that Mithril Pike there. And most likely probably not enough smoke bombs, but we'll find out. Everyone making their way through the through the backside of Narshe Caves, back to the salt mines. with the exception of Fizz, who's just going to very quickly here. You can almost hold your breath and wait for this scenario to be over. Getting the guard skip done on the first try.
Nice work. Alright, so on the timer on the stream, you'll see Sharky.
Yep, Sharky's getting an update from Arvis of what's going on in Narshe.
Got a fade at 125.32. reBar is done with his encounters as well. He's going to duck in here, so they are just this little text box mashing sequence apart. Which means Kefka can control this fight, this race if he wants to. He is the last thing in the way.
Kefka's going to be the deciding factor here.
Could nerves come into it for a little Sharky? As he says in the chat, the nerves could come into it. We shall see. Keep in mind that on the stream, let's see.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a General Moogle.
Okay, they're about even now. So there is about an extra second in reBarb's favor. That is basically stream delay. Look at the memes coming out, man. Memes in the chat. I would never do anything like that, that's for sure.
Liar.
Serge had a really nice little catch-up here. Almost tying up with reBarb and LilSharkie after being behind for a lot of it.
Yeah.
Sharky taking the save.
Always a good move here. I saw that cost someone their win just last night.
We have had quite a few forfeits by death here. I believe that was Scratch Dragon.
Yeah, that was Scratch Dragon. I couldn't remember the name off the top of my head, but yeah, Scratch Dragon took the Ice 2 death to Kefka, which is what LilSharkie's going to be hoping to avoid here. Oh, remember everyone, always safety save right before heading into big boss fights when you can. Especially when they have RNG you can't control.
Oh, come on, Kefka has no RNG. That's...
Yeah, but Kefka also has party-wide ice too that will kill you.
There's no RNG in that. He never gets that off. That's crazy talk.
Go to your corner, timeout.
Yeah, Riku, jeez.
Bad Riku. Bad. Okay, LilSharkie heading into his Kefka fight. Alright, Chad, spam the Jujus. Bad if you want Barbaloot to win, good if you want Sharkie to win. And it looks like LilSharkie has won with an official SRL race time of 1:31.24.
Woo! I was afraid to spoil anything. And we've got right on his tail. Looks like reBarb is going to finish up right about here. Got a SRL time of 1:31.52. So GG, really close race by these two.
Yeah, less than 30 seconds between them. So very, very close race between reBarbaloot and LilSharkie. Spam them GGs, Chad. Let them know how you feel.
Better yet, follow them, because they did great. Really entertaining race. And here comes Serge, getting into his Kefka fight, or the Rider.
Yep, getting into the Rider fight. Getting just a little over anxious here.
Serge is actually on get somebody going.
Ooh, incorrect blitz input. His nerves got to be getting to him.
And Gao low. So kind of what you're trying to do in this fight is weight trick the initial aura bolt, or that's how it's kind of classically trained. But when things get off script, you kind of improvise, kind of decide what you want to do here. I think he's not getting much damage from E because he doesn't have that second pike either.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Oh, party-wide ice too. That's bad. Oh, that's bad.
Clutch aura
I
bolt.
didn't see if
No!
Oh, no, that's bad.
Oh dear.
Oh, that hurts. I didn't see if he safety saved either.
Now Fizz coming up to the Kefka places himself. Is he gonna make up enough time here?
Well, Surge hasn't FF'd out, so I'm assuming he's got a safety save.
Yeah, that Kefka fight. As I said, we've never had anybody Ice 2 before. That was the first time. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's never happened before.
It hasn't ever decided to race or anything. Couldn't hold out, eh? I've got a bad feeling about this.
Oh, Surge's safety save was back in locked scenario.
I'm guessing it's probably nerves. Yeah. So, yeah, Fizz, as long as he safety saves.
Yeah, as long as he safety saved, he should be okay. Yeah, this percent is a little arbitrary. It's designed to be a shorter run to help get people into running the longer percents, the full games. That and it's a little bit easier to digest in one sitting. Fizz getting stuck in the rider fight.
And the rider pops up here, too. The Fizz. Here. Oh dear, Edward's dead.
And Fizz getting into his his Kefka fight. We'll see if he can avoid the wipe here. And he does. And Fizz has finished with an official SRO race time of 1:39.07.
You were a little ahead there, but yeah, GG. Can't put Surge up because he is not game audio only, so I'm going to put on some game music here real quick. Don't know if Serge wants to keep playing this out, forfeit, whatever, but we'll be here.
Pardon me, boy. Is this the Transylvania station? Yeah, that's probably not.
Alright, so Ryder again for Surge.
Cleans up that rider nice and quick. And moving back into his Kefka fight.
Looking okay so far. His Edward's still not doing a whole lot of, or Edgar still not doing a whole lot of damage, I'm sorry.
But so far,
There we go.
there we go.
So we got an official SRL time for Surge at a 148.50. So GG to our runners. A lot of the rest of the schedule today is happening on twitch.tv/RikuPlayer. Somehow I managed to commentate and then do this at the same time. It's crazy. So we're going to send you guys over there. He's got 2 matches going on right now between Dustin Silverfire